About a year after we got the International Rehabilitation Forum together, I realized that the people who actually work in developing regions and in developing countries don't go to the big meetings. I'd go to a World Congress and I might see the doctor from Latin America, but she's talking about baseball players. She's not talking about poor people using bamboo to get around or something like this. But these people were around. They're like in the woodwork someplace. So my brother Tom and I and some others called a meeting in Turkey, and got a huge response from people, Americans and Europeans who travel to developing countries, as well as the doctors from Bangladesh and India and other places, who take care of people on a daily basis. About the time that we were organizing that meeting, I found someone's description of this group of young trainees, residents in rehabilitation medicine in Pakistan. There had been an earthquake, and these kids and one of their professors took over a women's and children's hospital filled with a couple hundred people that had spinal cord injuries and saved all their lives. People who didn't get to their hospital died. People who got to their hospital went home. They had a couple of babies there, and it was just an amazing story. And this guy's name is Farouk Rathor, and Farouk is just a brilliant, politically smart, good doctor, great heart guy. So we emailed back and forth, and Farouk and I started writing about his experience for the medical journals. About that time also, China had the earthquake. So with Farouk developing this great expertise of what you should do after a natural disaster for spinal cord injuries and amputees, my friend Jianyun Lee, who leads a Chinese delegation, was dealing with the Sichuan earthquake at the same time, and I realized somebody had to put this all together. So we called a meeting in Kayseri, Turkey, and one half day of the meeting was dedicated to what do you do after a natural disaster. These two guys came. Interestingly, somebody from Haiti before the earthquake came. Some folks who had worked with the New Orleans disaster came, and we spent the whole day understanding, how do you evacuate someone without furthering their spinal cord injuries? Where should the surgeon amputate so the person has a good prosthetic limb? How do you deal with people who already have physical disabilities to evacuate these from the areas? And we came up with all kinds of ideas and policies. A week later, at the big international conference, people were shocked by what we found. And at that point, the International Society of Physical and Rehabilitation Medicine commissioned our group to develop a policy statement, develop the plans, to work with the WHO on this. But then we had Haiti, and we had all our stuff lined up. We knew how much global organizations didn't know. We knew what they were messing up on, but Haiti happened too early for us to really change their mindset. I broke my arm the week before the earthquake, so I couldn't go down there. But our whole group was writing madly to all the aid agencies, trying to explain to them. And it would make your stomach sick. You'd see the videotapes of them rescuing some guy out of a building, and they yank his body, and you see his legs go limp, and you go, oh, I know what they did. I know what his life is like now. And then I'd be contacting people, like the Navy put up these great big military hospitals, and I wanted to give them a shout and say, hey, you guys, you're not going to discharge him from there. And sure enough, 3 weeks later, despite all my efforts to get to the military about this, the newspaper headlines were, naval hospitals crowded with people who can't be discharged because they can't walk, because nobody got them a prosthetic limb, nobody gave them crutches, nobody got them a wheelchair, because rehabilitation wasn't part of that first week after the disaster. That was very hard for all of us to look at, because we were just looking at our friends working in Haiti, not able to get the job done. But since then, we've gotten pretty strong. And now the WHO is looking at our policy, and other organizations are. We're going back to Haiti with other people. China had another earthquake, and the Chinese government jumped on Jianyun right off the bat and had him bring people in that very first week and saved a lot of lives. So we're seeing slow gains, but the real challenge is to get the world to understand what we have to offer.